Well, this is a bit of a surprise, but I am here with a review many years later on this channel. Where have I been? Streaming on Twitch TV, where I was recording the footage for this game, which was made possible by Daredrops. Complete challenges to win game keys, DLC, merch, and whatever they dare to drop us. With that said, let's review Deadzone Rogue, which I accepted as a dare to review the game for a copy of said game with the Void DLC. I'm your host, WizWarioo. You're the viewers and I'm the reviewer. I say review, but I want to do it in a way that's me, not just like...
Deadzone Rogue is a first-person roguelike sci-fi action co-op game where you shoot robots blasting your way through zones trying to make it to the end, using many weapons, perks, and abilities. I'd give the game a 42 star systems out of 69. Oh, remember to write, comment, and subscribe.
That's standard, boring, generic, and usually fail. I just want to tell you what I like and didn't like about the game, maybe with some meh in between. So welcome to Pro Cons. Pro. The action's fun. Shooting the bots is enjoyable and you get a plethora of weapons to play with. It kind of feels like Doom or Borderlands with the action. The different builds you can make with the perks, items, and augments to affect your playstyle with the weapons you choose. I have a few favorites like the shotgun, minigun, and dual machine pistols, with certain skills like either lots of weak point damage in one shot or lots of bullets to shoot, with a touch of ice or lightning for my element. I like that if you have a bullet in your chamber for certain guns, it doesn't play the racking animation if your chamber is empty. Small but nice detail. Still doesn't give you an extra bullet in the chamber, but with all the crazy things you can do, I think we can let this bit of realism slide. Co-op, it lets you play up to 3 players. Weird limit, but okay. And co-op is always nice to have, and I'm always down for it, especially if co-op makes sense or just adds to the fun. I was playing with a Twitch friendo of mine, Shan's Art EN. Plug. Being a roguelike game, it does keep the game generally fresh by switching up enemies and sometimes the rooms you go through, sometimes easy enemies, and sometimes how am I supposed to make it through this room with these setups. Some of the data logs are funny, particularly with the influencer in space trying to get views.
Isn't she great?
Depending on how you look at it, but yes. I like that all the items and perks have good uses in the right situation. Of course, that's how they work. Because some of the items you could get, I was like, why would I ever bother with this item? But then, some zones have you play in a wave-based arena where you're stuck in the room, and that's where some perks I dismissed before actually becoming more useful to me, like going invisible after meleeing an enemy. I like that the game is casual about its gameplay. You don't have to worry about ammo and resources, but you still do need to reload or wait for a cooldown when you use your tools, but it keeps things simple, and for most people, I think would enjoy simple, but it's not without its complexity with building your characters during the run. You can upgrade your characters so they fail less, and whenever you reach the end of a zone, you get a reward that gives you materials to upgrade certain skills or abilities for future runs. It gives the game some replay value, and it's not a grind to get enough materials. I like that completing the zones awards you something neat, like an ability or weapon unlocks. Whether or not I'll play it again is probably if I'm wanting to beat it on the higher difficulties, which are locked behind progression. Music's nice, it gives me Risk of Rain 2 vibes. I like the sneaking you can do in the beginning to case the area to see where's the best place to actually start your fight as opposed to coming through the door and getting mowed down if you happen to get a bad starting area with tough enemies. Sometimes the direct approach at the front door is not ideal. Looting is enjoyable. Sometimes you find a weapon with better abilities on it, like finding guns in the Borderlands series. But unlike Borderlands, you can re-roll effects you don't like at the Fabricator, giving you some control over the random stats you find. Of course, there's a chance that you won't roll what you want, but typically the game tries to help you. Meh. I'm not terribly fond of the dash when I want to run, but the game does auto-run for you as long as you're going forward. Not a big issue, just things I was feeling meh about. Not being able to sell things to the Fabricator, but it really wouldn't have worked out with how the game is designed, but it still bugged me because sometimes I'm just short a few caps of buying something. The weapon skins are a mixed bag, you either like them or not, but there's a lot of skins you can find. They might have something you like. Would I have preferred a custom color wheel to pick? Not really. Having it be skins is quicker and more simple, but still, sometimes the choices are meh. Being random with the reroll stats, sometimes you get what you want, sometimes you don't get what you want, and sometimes you only get parts of what you want. I guess I would want a reroll option that lets me individually reroll stats that I don't want, but still uses up the reroll uses. But it's not a deal breaker or anything. Con. Melee feels like an afterthought. You don't really rely on it for battle because you only get one swing of your weapon and you can't combo with it, which would have made it badass to do a melee combo on the bots. There are perks for it, but I feel it's kind of niche to build towards it when it's kind of lackluster. Not to say melee isn't useful, I was hoping there was more to it. It's a tad too simplistic for my taste. Can't re-roll or upgrade armor effects. If you find a legendary armor, that's usually good because it has 4 abilities with it, but they're not always abilities you want, so you might stick with a lower tier armor because it synergizes better with your build. Would have liked an option to re-roll, but it's only for weapons. The same cutscene that plays when you start the game. I'm so sick and tired of your guy checking his pistol. I know it's gun safety and an animation they worked really hard on, but this is a video game. Get out, let me skip and let me play. Actually, true con I have with the game. That's pretty much how I feel about Deadzone Rogue. Mostly positive, not much meh or negatives. It's pretty casual fun that you can play with 2 others, and I enjoy playing it. Would I recommend it? Yeah, I'd recommend it. In fact, when I tried requesting this game before, I wasn't able to get my hands on it because it was that requested. Thumbs up. Go check out Deadzone Rogue when you get the chance. I'm your host, WizWarioo. You're the viewers and I'm the reviewer and the streamer on Twitch TV. Come watch me play games and record videos for future reviews, maybe. Still talk about and review games, I just didn't make a video about it.